Hi, to those of you who are watching, this is CY, and together with me I have Mr. Mathi,
Hi.
who is our MBA student under the University of Sunderland program. So, could you very briefly introduce yourself, Mr. Mathi?
Okay, I'm Madhivanan Manikam. You can call me Madhi. I work in UMW as an export manager. So basically, we export lubricants around Southeast Asia.
Car lubricants.
Yes, not car lubricants. It's like industrial oil, commercial.
Oil, okay.
It's a mix. So UMW does manufacture oil like Pennzoil, Repsol, and our own in-house brand Grant.
I see. All right. Thank you. So, Mr. Mathi, why did you choose to study an MBA program?
I think it helps a person think holistically, very strategic thinking. Previously, I only think from one single point where I'm good at, whether sales or marketing. But when I incorporate finance, what I do is just like whether you could sell the product within a year, like inventory is supposed to be meant for a year. Then you incorporate that, okay, if anything more than a year, then it's dead stock.
Yeah.
So you don't have strategy in what you're doing. So you think holistically, financially, you put in that, it makes you very robust.
Right.
And it's more of like break-even point first,
Right.
then about market growth and bottom line.
Understand. So for you, it's more towards having that holistic view over the whole how a business functions and things like that. I see. Thank you. I'm sure when you decided to do an MBA, I'm sure you have been through a lot of survey, go to a lot of different institutions, and things like that. So could you very briefly share with us why did you choose to study with SEGi?
I got to know Mr. Sam, and I did some management course with him earlier.
I see.
So that was a big help because he said, "Why didn't you are MBA material?" I said, "Well, he's the one who said introduced me to that MBA and told me, why do you take a try?"
Right.
I think SEGi, one thing, they got very good lecturers. They're willing to help students, and I think that's a plus point.
Thank you. For those of you who are watching that is wondering who Mr. Sam is, Mr. Sam is our one of our lecturer under the MBA program with University of Sunderland. So I think he teaches a lot of finance modules.
Right, finance and also statistics.
Statistics, yes.
A lot of people don't realize that it's good to do survey, especially when doing marketing. It's just like some things you can't quantify them, right? So you go and get your surveys and finally use scientifically how to quantify them finally and come to a decision. Okay, this is what the customer wants. Then you are market driven rather than sales driven. So survey is so important. It's fundamentals of it. I think he's a big help and a big exposure to that.
Thank you. So let's talk about you before and after having an MBA. Of course, you mentioned to me earlier that you get to see things in a more holistic view. On top of that, what changes do you see in yourself?
I think I used to be a struggle when I was a junior employee in my company. When somebody tells me about top of the line growth, bottom line growth, so shareholders' wealth, like why profit is so important, because we think like silo thinking, and as long as I deliver my job, that's it, like the numbers.
Yeah.
So right now it's very, very different. So if you want a senior position or to be a board member, the least you got to do is at least MBA. So at least I know a little bit about finance, and if I'm going to give some pointers or advice below, I can tell them, okay, this is based on what I've studied and my experience, and I could give you some good pointers for the juniors if I need to mentor somebody.
I see. That's right. In fact, that is what an MBA is for. It's for you to prepare. It's for you to prepare yourself into senior management level, and that you see how different bodies of business functions together as a whole, how it keeps the whole business together and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like what I struggle to is like we have a lot of bosses around, but very little people with leadership skills. What I meant is just like marketing service. Okay, then I tell them, go and do a market survey. Now be part of your team, give some guidance, and you go and get your experience. So I'm rubbing some of my experience and knowledge to you. I'm just not telling you to do something without, giving you instructions. It's just like being a team player.
Right. So on top of getting you into the senior management position, you also prepare yourself to be a better leader when it comes to leading people and stuff like that. Thank you for sharing. So what else do I have to ask you? Let me see. I also forgot what to ask you. Okay, so to wrap up this interview, just very briefly, let me share with you our experience with a lot of students who are contemplating whether or not do they want to do an MBA. So there are a lot of students who think time is a big problem. They cannot commit the time, and I mean they have to juggle between study and things like that, study and working. So that's number one. Number two would be financially. Yeah, some people might be afraid that they cannot fork out the amount of money every month for the monthly installments and things like that. So what is your advice to this group of people?
Okay, I think people should take advantage of the EPF, where the government encourages us to study like knowledge economy. If you're not going to upgrade now, it's going to be very difficult when policy changes.
I agree.
Yeah. And for people who doesn't have time, everybody is given 24 hours. It's how well you plan your time. And you don't come here on or every single day, but you come here on the weekends. So I believe people are a little bit free. There will be sacrifice like family time, the 2 years that you are into this course. If you ask me how it was, is it a stroll in the park? It is not, but it's sweet when you get your scroll.
I agree. I totally agree. In fact, I always tell these students, if you find yourself having a hard time managing your time, this is more the reason why you should do an MBA, because from there you learn through the experience.
Yeah. So it's just like, it's like, it's all about planning. If you don't plan, you plan to fail.
I agree.
So I think fundamentally it starts from when you start studying. It's also like a project you do to deliver, and it's about planning. So as a student you learn and finally will apply in your life. So I think it's fundamental of planning. Like you take the first step, take the plunge, I think enjoy learning.
Yeah, I agree. So thank you very much for joining us today, Mr. Mathi. Thank you. Thank you. See you guys. Bye.